Welcome back to the show, where we play random Pokemon games for about 10 hours and then never think about them ever again, unless they're actually good. This time it's Pokemon TCG 2, a game that no one wanted. You see, God's not real. And if he was, we would have gotten the 10 Commandments too by now, and they would have only been released in Hebrew, much like how this game is Japanese exclusive, so I'm playing a fan translation I found online. I start my game as a male, and it appears that, out of all of the things in this game, the name selection isn't actually translated, so I suppose my name is... You play as a character that definitely isn't the same character from the original, and unfortunately, my Pokémon cards get abducted by an alien spaceship. This is, of course, the first thing that aliens would do if they invaded. And this is also why I keep my Pokemon cards in an alien-proof box. Apparently, Team Great Rocket are the guys that stole my Pokemon cards, not the aliens. And they stole not just mine, but everybody in the world's Pokemon cards. Which I'm pretty sure is the most evil crime ever committed in a video game. Right next to, that one other time that a crime was committed in this video game. And our goal is, I don't know, get them back, I think. We tell some guy called Dr. Mason about it, who tells you about how terrible it is and how they also stole the legendary cards from the previous game, from the club leaders. Even though, it's established in the prologue that we had the legendary cards. So I don't know if there's multiple legendary cards or whatever. But apparently, nonetheless, they didn't actually achieve their goal. Because they didn't steal all the cards. Because I got a free deck of cards at the start of the game. So not only is this a terrorist organization that is stealing playing cards from people, but they didn't even fucking succeed. I go to the airport as all the clubs are shut, and apparently it's Team Great Rocket's HQ, which is kind of fitting because it's terrorists at an airport. And I just kind of casually stroll in there without issue, because as a terrorist, you must always allow small children to wander into your HQ, no matter who you are. It's basically a Pokemon tradition at this point. How the hell have the local police not shut these guys down? They're on the map. And the airport is on the map. And they've changed the map so that they painted their logo onto it. They painted the logo onto the airport and you can see it on the fucking map. We're informed that Team Great Rocket has taken over the clubs because that does something, I guess, and people have started referring to them as Team GR because anagrams are cool. I have a Pokemon Duel, yeah. In case you haven't seen the original video, yep, they used to be called, they're called Pokemon Duels for some reason, because they're like, the creators clearly like Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're still called that in this one. And I have one with some old guy, and I die of old age halfway through. Yeah, that duel took 6 minutes, which is actually, for a Pokemon battle, like a normal one, like in the main series games, they usually take around 2 minutes. But for a Pokemon duel, 6 minutes is very short. It usually takes upwards of 15 minutes. And just to prove my point, I turned on infinite health and infinite energies on one of my fights, and it ended up taking 4 minutes. This game is insane, but just in case you're worrying, oh, Ollie's cheating for all of his stuff, I don't cheat. I only cheat in order to get access to, like, event items or something. So let's say with Crystal I did the GS ball. Anyway, it turns out that Team ginormous rickets are mind-controlling people to protect their stolen Pokemon cards, like the snotty rich kid at school that pays people to be his friends and make them give all of their Pokemon cards to him. Something we can all relate to, I'm sure. So we need to go to all of the clubs and sweep them clear of Team Giat-Riz admins. We need to collect all the 4 Team Good Riddance badges in order to get to the airport. We do that and we get on a plane, and I have no idea why the terrorists would allow a small child to get on a plane on their captured airport. And I thought that this was the end of the game, but no. We have to defeat all the other clubs on the island. Now that would be cool and interesting if each one was different and had something cool going for it. You know, like a Pokemon battle. But no, it doesn't have that, and each battle takes upwards of 10 minutes and over that. And honestly, I've had enough of these battles because you don't even win them half the time, of course. I mean, if you don't win them, it's just 10 minutes of your life you've wasted, and it makes me want to break my Game Boy Color in half. And which is a bit of a shame because I'm not playing this on a Game Boy Color. I'm playing this on an emulator on my PC. And my £1,000 PC is a bit more expensive than the average Game Boy Color. Before you say that I'm not doing it properly or whatever, I do have a Game Boy Color. I just can't capture stuff on it because I'm not doing that. That's a nightmare to get sorted, so I'm just doing it on my emulator on my PC. But I do have a Game Boy Color, I swear. Okay, this video so far has been a bit alright. It's been good, but this was my downfall, and this is probably my lowest moment, I'd say, in this entire series. Other than that time I spent 4 hours playing Pokemon Pinball, didn't make any progress and gave up. I played this game for ages before eventually getting to one person that said that they'd only battle me, and this was mandatory battle. They said that they'd only battle me if I had 4 Pikachus in my deck. I was like, cool, whatever. I've done all the battles. Surely they gave you enough Pikachus, right? I didn't have any. I had none. And I'd done so many battles. I wasn't about to grind a load of battles just to try and get 5 Pikachus. I didn't know how I'd do that. So, I want to be honest here. I gave up. I mean, this game was, quite frankly, I don't think it was as bad as Pokemon Pinball, because I actually made progress with this one, but I didn't like the original Pokemon TCG game that much, and I liked this one even less, because it was literally just more of the same. It wasn't, there was no twist, there was no nothing, it was just the same game, and I'll be honest here, if I see another Pokemon card, I think I'm just gonna jump out of my window.